Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today I want to discuss something that has taken me a little while to figure out and package together in my head in such a way that would make sense when I actually try to talk about it. Earlier this week I read a comment thread that went something like this. Person A, Cold War, ? Laughing my arse off. Person B, haters gonna hate. Person A, World War II equals chess, Cold War equals checkers. This kind of interaction, this back and forth between people, is something that we have seen many times. And here is my stance. World War II is chess, Cold War's checkers. Okay, fine. If that is your opinion, you're allowed to have that, and I will respect your thoughts on that. That's not a problem. The issue I have with this, though, is one that I have come across many times in life, and this is where things go a little bit out, just outside of the game. I'm not talking about the game per se at the minute. We will come back to it, but just, you know, with interactions in life generally, this is what I've noticed. It's not really about what you say, it's about how you say it and the sentiment that is behind what you say. I could say the words, "Oh yeah, I love this game," or I could say, "Oh yeah, I love this game." Same words, two meanings. Person A stated, "Cold War, ? Laughing my arse off." This kind of rhetoric is something that we see a lot with this game, and some World War II players, not all, and I stress not all, seem to have this chip on their shoulder, a kind of pushing their spectacles further up their nose, looking down on Cold War and insinuating that it's not the pure form of World of Tanks, it's not the elite form of World of Tanks. And in my opinion, this kind of approach to any conversation or discussion is thinly veiled snobbery, masked behind ignorance and, well, juvenile jeering, really. I have absolutely no issue with someone who enjoys World War II. What I do have an issue with, though, is any individual who will attempt to slander a personal preference. For me, I think what is happening here really has nothing to do with the game. And this is where, for me, you know, I don't often talk about personal topics, but in this case, I will make an exception, because for me, this goes a little bit deeper than just a video game. I come from a background that taught me to vilify anything the community around me didn't agree with. I learned to adopt opinions, thoughts and feelings of other people and parrot them. Autonomy of self was non-existent, and hate, for no good reason, was rampant. And, you know, again, this may be why this topic hits home a little harder for me than it ought to, but over the years, I've had to learn three very difficult lessons. 1. Learn to recognize the toxic mindset in myself that I had thought was normal for so long. 2. Learn to view different perspectives. Take on different views. Learn to view things differently. And 3. Learn that I can be friends with people who see things differently. That last one is that's probably the hardest one of all of them. Being friends with people that you can do it. If just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that it's over for your friendship. You can be friends with people that see things differently. Running this channel and playing this game has been a very good way for me to keep on top of these lessons, because they're not a one-time learning thing. It's ongoing every single day. That's my journey. That's what it's like for me. It might not be the same for everybody else. I have a very unique way of viewing the world, and that is true for all of us. We have all had our experiences that make us unique, and we all have our own reasons for being the way we are. Despite my experiences or your experiences, though, the only person responsible for the way I interact with the world, or the way you interact with the world, it's me. I am responsible for me. And if I view the world or the game through a toxic lens, I am the only one that can fix that. And this is good news and bad news at the same time. It's good because it requires me to change me, and I can do that. That is achievable. I'm not required to change anybody else, which is impossible. You can't do that. I can change me. That is achievable. It's bad, though, because we have a propensity for blaming and avoiding responsibility. And we do that because that is the path of least resistance. It takes hard work to take responsibility for my own actions and thoughts and whatever. It's easy to just go, I died because the team, you know. It's not my fault I died. It's the team's fault I died. Always something else to blame. So how does this sort of big life picture concept apply to the game? Well, I have a friend who regularly sends me screenshots of his World War II successes, and I take joy knowing that he is enjoying his experience of the game. I take joy knowing that we're getting the same level of enjoyment from the same game, although it's coming from slightly different places, different game modes. There is never slander of one or the other. There is never a hint of elitism. And what that leads to is a shared satisfaction of the game. I know the toxic mindset of those who choose to hate. I've learned to recognize it, not by looking at others. I've learned to recognize it by looking at myself and understand that, well, I've been that kind of person, and I had to make a choice. Hate for no good reason, or appreciate and respect the preferences of others. Those were the choices I had to make. And I've done both in my lifetime. I've one path I chose, you know, led to isolation, depression, and the tendency to drive others away from me. The other path led to meaningful friendships and a YouTube community built on the simple satisfaction and enjoyment that can be found in World of Tanks console. And if you are the type to hate on others' video game preferences, I'm not going to judge you, because I've been you. I've walked in your shoes. I know that territory very, very well. And I also know that, like I was, you're likely miserable. And I can say that because, you know, your inner satisfaction is coming from jeering at someone else's preference for enjoyment. And you think that's the moral high ground. And to get to that point, you've had to adopt an elitist mindset, because that is the only way you can maintain the illusion of dominance. We're all entitled to our own thoughts and opinions, but the lesson I've learned, though, is that thoughts and opinions void of facts makes me ignorant and delusional. Even if I have a community around me that agrees with me, that still doesn't make me right. The ability to self-analyze and adopt a broader range of views is the most satisfying change I've ever made in my life. In regard to World of Tanks console, it's led me to appreciate the skill on both sides of the game, which in turn has led to all kinds of people sharing their successes and failures within the game, regardless of where those successes or failures originated in the game. I'm not going to tell anyone what they should do with their thoughts, feelings, or actions. All I can do is demonstrate that some destinations in life contain more joy and satisfaction than others. Okay, folks, this has been a bit of a different video, but that is all I have for this one. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and as always, I hope you're all keeping well, and I'll see you out there.